Good morning and welcome to today's discussion on the importance of English in international business and management. I am joined by management expert Ms. Sana Farzand Ali. Thank you for being here.
Welcome, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Let's dive right in. Our first question is, how does knowing English help in international business and trade in management?
English is an international language. It is that one language that is spoken in maximum countries in the world. So I think, I don't know who made that an international or official language. I'm pretty sure white people did. But I think we need to learn English because communication barrier, one of the most important or basic communication barrier is language barrier. And knowing or being proficient in English eliminates that most important communication barrier for you. And for businesses and management, you need to be able to build a rapport with the person you're doing business with. And language is that one thing through which you can build a rapport with the person. So that's how important it is, I think.
Okay, that's a great point. Why is good English important for career growth in management jobs around the world?
I think communication skills is one of the most important soft skills. When we talk about working in an official environment, although yes, when you're working in Pakistan, you may not have to speak English all the time. But very important part of your job entails presentations and report writing. For that, your medium of language is English. So if you are proficient in English, your communication skills will be, because a lot of the time students who struggle with communication skills are because of the fluency in English. So proficiency in English will help you get better communication skills, and soft skills are something that help you excel in your career. It's not always your technical skills. A lot of people, other people working in organization have the technical skills that you do, but your soft skills are something that makes a difference for you to excel in a career. So I think that's how it helps.
Oh, thank you. Our another question is, how does English help in sharing management ideas and research across different cultures?
English is a very simple and easy language, to be honest. I believe out of all the languages, it is the easiest language to learn. That's why it's our second language, and we, I think, are pretty good at it. I think as compared to Europeans, we Pakistanis or Asians are very good at English. Having to express your thoughts and ideas in a language which is easier to understand, simpler to understand, and easier for the other person to learn as well, I think it helps clarify the ideas better. So how are you going to explain entrepreneurship or management ideas to somebody in Sakil Urdu? You probably cannot. It's way simpler in English, I think. That's why.
Okay, then. What happens when managers in multinational companies have poor English skills?
They may not be able to excel in their careers because when I think last month me and Ms. Navera took students for a trip to an organization and they gave us a little presentation of how they do things. One thing that I noticed, and straight away it was a positive image of an organization, and I believe they know well and we can take our students again. They had really good communication skills and they had really good English language proficiency. So you cannot excel because, again, as I said, when you sitting in a board meetings, you need to be well versed with the language. You need to be fluent. You need to be able to put your thoughts into the words. And if you're not really good at English proficiency, or your communication skills are not as good, how are you going to give your input in the important meetings? And if you can't give your input, then you'd probably stay making reports and doing clerical work for other people who are going to present your work and take the credit.
Okay. How does English help managers make deals in global markets?
Global market, internationally, you have to. Pakistan is, I mean, there are certain countries who do not use English as the medium of language, like Chinese countries and Arabs and some European countries. Even Europeans, I think when they go for international meetups, they do try and they're conversational in English. Chinese, Japanese, and Arabs are the only ones I believe they don't. But they have translators. They do have something that gives them the edge over the other party, so they can probably stick to their language. We are not at that state in international or global market, so we need to be at their level and build a rapport, because I think it's a human condition. When you meet somebody who's different, or when you meet somebody you cannot understand what they're saying, we can't build a rapport or we can't build a trust with them. So if I can't speak their language, they won't be able to trust me. And if they won't be able to trust me, they won't be able to do business with me. They wouldn't want to do business with me. So I need them to trust me, and for that I need to imbibe some of their culture so that they can trust me.
Another question: how does English make it easier for managers from different backgrounds to work together and share knowledge?
I don't know all the languages in Pakistan. For example, if you work in Islamabad in any organization and you have a team member who is maybe Pashto speaking, a lot of Pashto speaking people are not very good at Urdu. And then there is somebody who probably is Saraiki speaking and they may not be very good at Urdu. But if they know English well, they can communicate through that language. So that becomes easier because we have lots of regional languages in Pakistan as well. Because we live in Punjab or Islamabad territory, we believe everybody speaks Urdu and everybody speaks Punjabi well, or everybody understands Punjabi well. That's not the case. There are a lot of people outside Punjab, they probably don't even speak that well Urdu, or they don't even speak that well Punjabi, or they don't understand Punjabi. So if you want to maybe dominate one, you want to bring one regional language and make it dominate the other languages, that's not fair. So it's only fair if you either stick to Urdu or you probably make another language an official language. So.
And how does English affect the creation of management ideas and models worldwide?
Whatever literature that we study is in English. So I think it is easier for us to take these concepts and translate them into the real world. For example, if I ask you to management each and every concept of management that you study in the class and translate it into Urdu, it wouldn't be that simple. Like sometimes when I am teaching you, there is certain word that I am trying to explain in Urdu, I do not know the Urdu word for it because I've only studied it in English. I've only grasped that concept using that language. I wouldn't be able to explain that into another language. So the transfer of knowledge and majority of the knowledge that we gain or you study in the coursework or degree programs, that comes from them, and their language is English, so we have to.
Yes. How does good English help managers communicate better with investors, customers, and their employees?
When I communicate with you in the class, you're able to understand me. Okay? That's how when you go outside the organization, when you're working for your organization, you should be able to. It's not just English, overall having language proficiency. When you are proficient in a language which is not your first language, for example, English is not our first language. When you become proficient in that language, your communication skills are naturally enhanced because you're able to take one concept in one particular language and then translate into another language which is probably not your first language. Then I think suffice it to say that your ability to simplify certain concepts is probably better than somebody who only knows one language. So I think learning English also helps us simplify things a little better, and we're able to explain to the other person the concept a little better. Because it gives you an edge. You know now two languages you can use to explain what you're thinking instead of just knowing one language. I think that's how it helps. A lot of the times, whatever we know, we're able to explain it to the customers a little better. Sometimes you may have customer who does not understand what is Bima. So you have to explain it to them what exactly do. Because pop culture, whatever we do on social media, everything, we learn those words from there. So that's why I think having good English proficiency also helps you enhance your communication skills even in your own language.
What problems do English barriers cause in international business and management projects?
Management projects, how would you be able to explain certain things to me if you do not know English? How would you be able to conduct business internationally with somebody, even when, for example, you are coming from a country who does not, a lot of the times, for example, as I said, Chinese and Japanese and Arabs, they use translators, but that doesn't mean they do not know English at all.
Yes.
That's a little bit of arrogance, so I'm not going to speak in English. But they have translators with them, if the other person is speaking English and their translator is translating, they still understand some of it. And you know, when you translate something, there's a concept called lost in translation. You don't always get the essence of it. When you speak to somebody, the way they speak, the kind of words or vocabulary they use, the way they form their sentences, that tells you a lot about that person. It tells you a lot about their thought process. If you cannot exactly understand what they're saying and somebody just gives you a basic idea of what they were trying to say, you can't catch the essence of that person, how they think, what their thought process is. So I think that's how it hampers you to understand the mental process of the person you're trying to do business with. But if you know their language, if you know exactly what they're saying, it would give you a better idea of what they're thinking.
Our last question is, how can management schools teach English to help students succeed in global business?
I think management schools cannot teach you English. This is something you have to learn from schooling level. I think a lot of the students who struggle with English, what they don't realize, English is very simple. If you want to learn good English, all you have to do is pay attention in school when they're teaching you tenses. It's all grammar, and English grammar is not complicated. It is very simple. It's way simpler than Urdu grammar. It's way simpler than Arabic grammar. Arabic is very complicated language. English grammar is very simple, very easy. All you have to do is learn 3 forms of tenses. That is it. Where do you have to put have, has, had? That's it. And then when we talk about vocabulary, this is something everybody needs to work on their own. I think I've said that in class. If you want to improve your vocabulary, you need to read a lot. If you want to improve your spoken, you need to listen to people who speak well. But when we talk about basic rules of English, that's something you need to start doing at a school level. At university level or business school, teachers may help you how to communicate well or how to be confident. They can teach you better presentation skills and strategy, better communication, whatever language skill you have, how to use that to further enhance your communication skill. At university level, this is what teachers can teach you. They can share different strategies you can use to further improve your language skills. Basic English teaching can't be done at business school level. I don't think so.
Okay. Thank you for sharing your insight on the importance of English in management and business.
I did it for Ma'am.